Dear friends, welcome to the Mindful Maya podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to understanding the phenomenon of the mind and be free from its conditions. The series features various talk shows given by the mystic Maya around the world in what he calls the conversation from the silence to the silence.
Please sit a little closer. It's nicer to sit closer. So welcome, everybody. From today we are starting a new form of meditation. It is self-healing as well as healing the complexes of different people that we have within us. So basically complex would be, for example, I have my father, right? A father is a different entity, but the father, the image of my father within me is a complex. So my father, the real father with his real biological body, would have his own universe within him, would have his own ideas, dreams, experiences within him. But what I have about him within me is a complex which he may not have. So there is certain idea about my father for me that my father may not be like that, right? And this is what shapes our experience with anybody, not just father, like mother, father, brothers, sisters, friends, families, everybody. So the practice we're starting today is healing the complexes that we have, and it is very important in terms of finding the balance of our own individual existence, because we all exist individually. Our families exist individually within themselves, although we are a bit closer and appear as a family or friends or unknown people around. But the more people we know, the more complexes we generate within ourselves. And the more people we know, the more story we gather from those people. So the stories function in such a way that all the negative experiences that we have about any people is what goes on gathering more and more and more, and ultimately creating repressions, and that's how we enter more and more into suffering or more and more into misery. So then the practice that we are starting to do from today for this month is a part of Reiki healing, or you would learn this as a part of Reiki learning, but we're not learning full Reiki, we're learning for this the first part of meditation and a little bit of Reiki healing for the self as well. So think about the complexes that we have or repressions that we have, and how these repressions we have carried has shaped our life, right? As growing up, we had different issues with our parents, with our siblings, and we blamed them, and they blamed us for something, we blamed them for something. Some not so good experiences were gathered. Now it can be with not just the family, but everybody. And all the good experiences we lived, and we lived in the moment for that. But all the negative experiences we lived and we still carried, because that's what mind does. It carries all the heavier experiences. And this particular practice is looking into the mind, into each of the complexes that we have. And you can already start visualizing this with your eyes closed. It makes it easier for you as well. So think about all the complexes that we have, all the images of let's start with the family member. So if we start with a father, our own father, what we have is a photographic image first, then we have sound, or we can visualize or internalize how he would sound, and we have memories of us with this particular being that we call father. And we have good memories and we have bad memories. Again, For the mind, good memories will live and the mind lives it. It does not carry it for long. But the negative experiences is what counts, because it keeps on counting all the negative experiences. For some reason, our mind is wired to not count the blessings, but count the sufferings or the painful moments. And since mind is a mechanism of repetitions, and also whatever repeats in the mind is projected in front of us. Through this projection we see the world. Now, think about this image of your own father that you have, and think about what memory you have, or think about that particular event when you were angry with him. And what was the anger about? It may have been a very small situation, it may have been a grave situation that you were angry about, but the anger was projected front of the mind, through which you saw the father, and you did not see the father, but you saw this particular complex where the mind associated the stories that you lived, and through these stories and the projection of these stories you saw the father. With the anger you saw the father. But the real father, biological being that was standing in front of you, it's a different entity. Just look at it that way. Just like each one of us here are different entities, different functioning biopsychological complexes, the same way the father was also a different entity. But how we were associated in that particular moment where we were angry is because of the projection that we had in front of the mind, or let's say the surface of the mind. And if we expressed the anger, usually when we were really small children, we express the anger and it releases because we just express them. We shout, we cry, and we run around. It expresses itself. And we went on growing up, and since certain age we stopped expressing this because we started thinking, what would other think, or what would he think, what would she think, and we stopped expressing completely, especially anger and hateful experiences or incidents that we wanted to express but we couldn't completely express it. And whenever any emotion is not expressed but it is boiling inside us and we do not express in any way, in any form, then this is what results in the shadows or repressions. Now, think about or visualize mother. And with father, you had a character, a mask, that you would only wear that particular mask for the father. With the mother, you had another mask that you would only wear this mask in front of the mother. Actually, it's not possible to wear a mother's mask in front of father or in front of a brother. And this is true for everybody that we meet throughout our life. So what is happening here is we went on carrying the negative experiences or the emotions that we were not able to express from many different masks that we wore and we still are wearing. And these have gathered as repressions, as deeper shadows of our own life. And the universal term of letting go, which is quite popular in the meditation circle, is basically letting go of the masks that we have for these different characters or these different complexes in our life. So in front of a mother, we had similar situations, similar fear, anger that we did not express, did not release, and it went on carrying or adding more and more. Even if the situation with a particular person becomes nice later, because it's a cycle of down and up, so then sometimes we are angry, then a few days after the situation is normal, we become good again with each other. But what happens is this unexpressed emotions goes on adding up, even if the situation is good. And these sometimes boils up. So let's say we gather a lot of repressions inside family, and then we went to school. Then we still had this shadow with us, which affected our learning in school. Or the opposite way. We had lots of shadows gathered in school where we could not express the emotions, and we went home and we carried along this shadow with us, and that affected our time in the family, in home. And it is visible everywhere. It is visible in the schools, universities, offices, normal day-to-day life. Everywhere this is visible, because this is how the mind works. So this practice that we are starting today of forgiving these different characters that we have in our life, and also asking for forgiveness. Now, while asking for forgiveness, it is not so very important that that particular person is present here with us today. It is for these images or the complexes that we have of them inside us, or the images of these different people we have within us. Those images is what we are asking forgiveness for, or forgiveness with. Now what this does is, it may not affect immediately, it may not affect that particular person who may be somewhere different place than we are at the moment, but it starts to change something in us. It starts to grow the seeds of compassion in us. It starts to change our shadows into lights. And really, if our shadows start turning into light, and sometimes we may have had some problems with somebody, and even today if we see that particular person, maybe old wounds get carried up again and we feel angry about it, or sad, or feel hurt. But this exercise or this practice of meditation heals that image of that person that we have stored within us. Again, it is very important to know how the mind is working in this scenario. Is that whatever story we have gathered about one particular person, or many different, that particular person's story and that story we have made, and whenever we see that person, that story is projected, and we do not see the person in its total reality. And we are entering into the realms of mysticism here, but you can already sense this happening. For example, whenever you are going to meet somebody, and I say, for example, that particular person that you're going to meet is not good. He's done this thing to me, he's this bad, or he's not reliable or something. Then when you meet that person, you will not meet that person. You will meet whatever I have told you about that person, and you will wear that glass or lenses of whatever I have told you, and you will see through that lenses that person, which will give you a different reality than the real reality. Now, if you look into your own minds, we all have gathered stories about many different persons in our life. And whenever we see that person, we don't see the real reality. We see the masks that we wear about that person. Curtains that we have about that person. Ideas that we have. And all the ideas, curtains, characteristics that we hold are simply stories. And the real inner peace, or the sense of calmness, is beyond all these stories. Because as long as there are stories, mind will find ways to dissect them, categorize them, and find out, is it good or is it bad for us? And that's how the mind works. It's normal for a mind to categorize, because that's how we have evolved, that's how mind has evolved throughout millions and millions of years. And we are here today because of that pattern of development. So that's naturally what mind does. It categorizes, it thinks in terms of negative. But that's the normal way, and there is a possibility for us to understand how the mind is working and make changes. Now, normally, the existence will not force this will of understanding the mind to anybody. It does not force it. A mind is free as the different ways it wants to live. But for some reason, some people have this deeper curiosity to understand life, to understand mind, to understand what the hell is going around with me in my life. What am I doing here? Who am I? All of these sorts of questions. So when this starts rising in some people, then there is a way that you can look into the functions of mind. And only to these people who have these kinds of questions, the existence or the universe will allow more inner doors to open and to see the hidden functionality of the mind. Yet again, it really does not matter if we do not look into our functionality of our mind, of the different shadows, complexes, sufferings. We will just continue living. And if we look into these things, we understand who we are, our real reality, our real identity beyond all the masks. It is possible to find the actual inner peace or the unconditional peace that we have. So, for the Reiki practice, actually, I was taught this practice of meditation, and along with me there were other friends who did this meditation practice for the first 21 days. And after that, we started sharing this among friends, among families, then also among with the plants that we have indoors or outdoors, with the pet animals we have. You can share this energy with everybody or everything, but it starts individually. It starts by healing ourselves. Last month we did some chakra meditations on different energy points in our body, and Reiki healing, and combined with this meditation, is healing these different points of the body. In the last month, in April, we focused on the different points to be aware about these points and how they are functioning, how the breath changes with each energy point, how the mind changes when we focus on different energy points, and the experiences of staying in focus with each one of these 7 energy points in the body. And from today we are using these 7 energy points, but we are adding Reiki to it. It's basically the same energy points and the same exercise of putting the breath in and out. With added breath in and out, we have added the healing touch. That the energy that we have within ourselves, we are redirecting that to the body. But before that, we start with this meditation where we ask our own body, our own complex, our own self for permission, and we ask for forgiveness, and we forgive as well. So, please be seated in a way that you can sit for a long period without moving. Whatever position is easy for you. If you want to put your back on the wall, you can do so. Make sure to take a cushion because the wall is cold. You can lie down for this as well, but the second part you will have to wake up and sit for the Reiki in the seated position. But for the first part you can lie down. If you lie down, make sure you are facing the sky, and you can put a cushion or something to support your body, and there are mats that you can use if you want. Okay. Close your eyes and feel completely relaxed. leave everything inside the imagination, put everything outside that door. You can imagine yourself going outside door, leaving everything that you have there. And now imagine that you are in a very big room with a big mirror. And the way you are seated, you can see your reflection in the mirror. And there is no one else in the room but you. And in this mirror, where you can see your reflection, look at your face, your body, the way you are seated. Simply look at the reflection. Now, think about all, or at least few incidents where you have hurt yourself. Any incident. Maybe you were drinking too much, maybe you were cutting your hands with blades or whatever. Many people do that as well. Or you were hitting your head on the wall. Whatever. Many different ways we use to hurt ourselves at some point in life. Think about that. And look into the reflection with this memory. And looking at the reflection, say to this reflection, "Dear, knowingly or unknowingly, I have hurt you in this life. I have hurt you many different times, in many different ways, without understanding what I was doing. I have hurt you. And I am starting a path of meditation, a path of healing myself, and for that I need your help. I need you to forgive me. And you are saying this to the reflection, and the reflection is listening to you while you say this. And remember, this reflection is not just imaginary reflection, just like everyday imagination that we have. This reflection, this initiation into meditation is very, very significant, because we are talking with our own self. We don't do that usually. But as we start to learn how to do this, to communicate with our own being, newer realities goes on opening for us. Previously unknown states of our own being starts opening for us. The more we enter into ourselves and we heal ourselves, the more the whole reality around us starts changing for us. Which is why this is a form of magic as well, and widely practiced exercise in Tantra. So this imagination, we are looking at it, and we're looking at it with complete love and asking for forgiveness. You can repeat in your mind, please forgive me, dear, for all those moments, all those times that I have hurt you. And forgive me if I unknowingly will do the same again, but I will try more and more to be aware about my own actions towards you, and more loving towards you. And as you are saying this, look at the reflection. The reflection is smiling back at you. It is happy that you are communicating with your own inner self. And that reflection is our own inner selves. And now, also, you have to forgive that reflection. Because that reflection is not just mere reflection, but a part of our own subconscious. Many different times our subconscious guides us for something, unless we learn some lesson. It revolves us to the similar patterns again and again and again. So we are communicating with the subconscious in this way. After having asked for forgiveness, now forgive the subconscious as well. Oh dear, knowingly or unknowingly, you have also hurt me. There were moments in my life which I didn't want to do or didn't want to go through, but it happened anyways. Sometimes I wanted to do something, but then again I did not want to do that thing. I was constantly kept in divisions, which has knowingly, unknowingly hurt me, affected my life. But as I'm starting this initiation of self-healing and inner journey, I will forgive you, and I will also forgive for each time this may happen again, that things may happen in my life without me knowing about it or wanting about it. And I'm ready to forgive that as well. And the reflection that you are seeing is very happy about it, and you are also very happy about it. And now, look at the reflection, and this reflection is carrying all the loads of the bags of suffering, of repressions, of all the negative experiences, and it is going away. Yet it is happy to take all your sufferings and go away. Soon the room is empty. Stay in this emptiness for a while. Now take a deep, slow, gradual breath in. Fill your lungs completely. Hold the breath for a while. and release when you must, very slowly. And in this reflection that you are seeing or watching in this big mirror, now bring on the family member that you want to ask for forgiveness and to forgive. You can bring your father, your mother, siblings, anyone, grandfather, grandmother, with whom you have had a deeper connection or with whom you have had not so beautiful connection. You can bring anyone. Bring in the person that is most important or the least important in this reflection. And as the person is there in front and you are watching, look into the face, the body, the way the person is seated. Listen to the voice of the person, and there's a memory of the voice. Listen to the voice of this person and be with this person for a while. And with the mysticism and with the Tantra, it is known that the subconscious of our own individual mind and the person that we think about, or we bring this person in front in the memory, the subconscious are connected. Only the conscious mind is not connected with each other. We have individual consciousness mind and one connected wave of subconscious minds. So, whenever we are using this practice, this also starts affecting the minds of people around. So compassion actually flows everywhere from you. Looking at this reflection of the person you have brought, think about a memory that was painful with this person, or a few memories that were painful, where you were hurt, or where this person was hurt, between you and this person. Because when one is hurt in the relation of these complexes, of these two people, when one is hurt, the other is automatically hurt as well. There is no possibility of just one being hurt. Both are hurt in some way or another. So there may have been moments when you were hurt, but you did not know that this person was hurt or not hurt. But whenever you were hurt, this person was hurt as well. So you can bring few memories, think about these memories, relive these memories, go back into the memory of this person and relive, act out this memory in the imagination. And looking at the reflection, you can say to this reflection, dear father or mother or grandmother, grandfather, whoever you have brought in, dear, knowingly or unknowingly or with different circumstances, I have hurt you. And I have hurt you in a way that made me hurt as well. It may have been my mistake, it may have been your mistake, it may have been someone else's mistake, but we were hurt. And as I am initiating this self-healing and initiating myself into understanding my own inner being more, I want to release all the stuck energies with you. All the repressed emotions that I have had with you, I want to release them. And for that I need your help. Please forgive me for all the moments I have hurt you. And knowingly, unknowingly, with circumstances, you have hurt me as well, as it goes both ways. And since I want to release and clear all the repressions, all the shadows, and I want to grow more and more, understanding myself, understanding the life, I will not hold on to repressions as well, and I'm willing to forgive you as well. And this reflection that you have is smiling at you and is very happy that you have taken this step of internalization, of growth, inner growth, and in overall the acceptance of life with ease, to let it flow and let it grow. And this person knows, and the subconscious of this person knows, that you want to experience life in a better way. So this reflection smiles at you, looks at you with complete love, and takes away all the repressions that you have had with this person. And in a big, big bag full of miseries and troubles and all the not so good experiences and memories, they take them all away. They take them all away from you and leaving you pure, calm, more and more relaxed and more empty. And in this emptiness, stay for a while. If the mind moves somewhere, let it move, it's not a problem. You can always see that whatever moves will always move, whatever changes will always change, but you are always there. You are the only one or the only thing within you that does not change. Everything changes. And that which does not change is eternal. that which changes, that which perishes away, goes away, is just stories. And within each one of us, there is something that never changes. And that something is eternal and eternally connected with everybody. Just like the implicate approach of life, that everything is connected and is one. So it's all right if the mind goes away.
Dear friends, we want to publish these life-changing conversations as a book, and for that, we need your help. Please leave your thoughts on our Facebook page, Maya Satsang, and also share this podcast with your friends. Every thought is valuable, and every share counts.